Hello, this is Amanda Farlinger with From Where I Stamp near Kingston, Ontario. And we are going to do some stamping with some items in the mini catalog. With these two just starting recently, there's a lot of great new product. And we're going to play with the By the Bay products here on page 22. Oops. My light's in my way. So page 22 is By the Bay, and we're going to do a scrapbook layout today. So let's get stamping. Oh, I've lost my paper. There we go. All right, so we have the Seaside Bay stamp set, and we're going to do some stamping of, I call them sandpipers, but these cute little birds. So we're going to do this one, and whoops, and this one. And we're going to do a little bit of a watercolor effect. We'll do that. And we're going to do some die cutting. Now, I don't generally need this, but it's always good to protect your stamping surface. So that way it's easier to clean up. And then, of course, we want to make sure to have our Simply Chamois nearby. Whoops. And look, I just got ink on my finger. All right. Another good reason to have your Simply Chamois nearby is it can clean off a little bit of the ink. All right, so we're going to take this one and we're going to stamp it. Now I'm going to stamp it twice. One, because I haven't used this stamp set yet. And two, because I'm going to do some watercoloring, I figured I should, just in case I mess up one, so we're just going to clean that off a little. And then we'll grab another piece of white, basic white cardstock to stamp the little ones in, like so. Now I am using Memento ink, which is better for the Stampin' Blends. You really should use StazOn, but I just dislike cleaning it up. So, because you need a special cleaner, you can't use just water with it. So I'm just going to be careful. And if I don't like how it turns out, then maybe I'll just scrap it and just use the blends. That's always an option. But if you don't want to use the blends, then what are my thingies? Here we go. You can use our water painters. There's 3 different sizes. And you can use some inks. So I grabbed Petal Pink and Sahara Sand because those are 2 of the colors that are in the designer paper in the By the Bay suite. Now this suite, there's 1 number that you can use to purchase it all. And I'll show you everything that's in the suite here in a few moments. So I'm just squeezing this to get the water to come out. Now, what I should have done is squeeze this. Now, if you have a ink refill, you could use the top here to put some ink in. If you smush your pad together, you can get some ink on the top, and then you just add some water to it. So we just add water and mix it up. And if you have too much water, then just using some kind of rag or towel, you can clean it up. Now, the other option you can do is you can pull directly from your ink pad if you want. Now, this may work better on the Fluid 100 paper. But I'm using basic white. So you also want to be careful not to add too much water to it, or else it'll pucker and not look the greatest. So just a little bit, and I went over the lines, but that's okay. Let's do one and see what happens. All right, so here is some of the Petal Pink. So I'm just going to squeeze this to get water out. And there, all the color is gone off the brush. And we'll squeeze some water in here. And I just want a very light color on their belly. I don't know if they're pink underneath, but good enough. And then you can use your tissue, towel, whatever, to clean up the inside of your ink cases if you want. I'm just going to clean my brush. And you could also have like a little container of water, like as if you were watercoloring. So I've just used the one brush, but there's 3 different ones. You could use this larger one to create some waves and different things like that. All right, well, I should have probably colored the little guys. I think I'm going to leave it alone for now. All right, so the Stampin' Cut Emboss Mini Machine. So this here, if you are not a demonstrator, during celebration, this is part of the starter kit. So for $175 Canadian, you can choose between either the white or the new boho blue mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, the boho blue is going to be one of our new in colors. So that was a cool little surprise to learn one of the new in colors that'll be coming in, I think it's in May. Demonstrators will be able to see the new in colors before that, but customers will be able to order in May. So boho blue is one of the colors. All right, so there is our little sandpiper. We're going to call it a sandpiper because that's what I think it is. So these dies here. So we have, this is the suite. And we do have little dies for our little guys. And so there's the stamps that we're using. And then the dies. Just trying to line this up here, which is nice that this little sandpipers line up really well. And here is the gorgeous specialty designer series paper in this suite. So it has some clear embossing as well as some gold embossing on the pages. It is really pretty and it coordinates really, really well. So there's our little sandpipers. I don't think I'm going to color them in. They'll be fine by that, like that. And then, oops. All right, so, and then I better put that back. So, put that, move things out of my way. So if you're wanting to get the exclusive boho blue mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, purchase the starter kit. You can choose the By the Bay suite as one of the items to add up to to $225. And you would pay $175 for it. All right. So now we have the Shimmer paper. And it's something that, if you watched my video from earlier, this is the textured shimmer. It's not going to show very well on the camera, but it is, there's balmy blue, shaded spruce, and a white. And then here's one of the sheets. Whoops. All right, there, that's fixed. So there's one of the sheets. There we go. There's a little bit brighter. I'm trying not to create too much glare off this paper, and it's not quite working. All right, so this is all the pieces I have. This is soft seafoam, and this one's mint macaron. We're going to do some die cutting, so we'll bring back the Stampin' Cut and Emboss mini machine here in just a moment. So I've pulled colors directly out of the designer paper. So balmy blue, mint macaron, night of navy. All right, I got not enough desk space and too much stuff. Isn't that always the way? All right, so blue. I really liked this design because you could do that like this is the horizon this way. Whoops, this is the horizon. Or you could do it as that is the horizon. So you're looking at more water. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the back, look at the design. So we're just using some liquid glue. So this is 6x6 designer series paper. And I've cut my night of navy to 6.5 by 6.5, like so that I have a nice thick border. So that's one thing. And then I have these two designs. So this one's kind of a wave pattern, and this one is the clam shells, and that's the back of each one. So if you want to have another peek, oops, at that pretty designer paper, there it is there. So that, I love the specialty papers because they have that little bit of oomph to your project. Now, if you decided not to get the textured shimmer paper, then you could use some, you could use cardstock, like 12 by 12 cardstock instead, in balmy blue, or even I was maybe going to use crumb cake, even though Sahara sand is one of the colors in the paper, so you may want to do Sahara sand. But adding some texture to your layouts is always fun. So because this is 6x6 paper, I'm going to use, I cut this one into half. So it was 6x6. It's probably not this piece. It was probably the other side. And then I just cut a 1-inch strip off of two other pieces. So now we'll put this onto our layout. And you could use some grid paper to get these kind of straight. You can also extend your paper by, trimming this down, because I don't need this center piece. So I could have cut this one in half and probably been just fine. But I think that looks about right. Something like that. If things aren't straight, they kind of bug me. Even though after I create it, I'll look at it to put some pictures on it again, but it's not like staring at me all the time. So I'm trying to work on not worrying about so many straight lines, and that is crooked. Isn't it? Nope. Not quite. Okay, we're just going to leave it alone. It's just because it's shimmer and I was talking about straight lines and whatnot. All right, we're good. We are fine. All right, so now we're going to put this on our layout. And for scrapbooking, I don't have my photos yet, but you can still create pretty layouts. And keep in mind what your layout is going to be, what it's going to look like. No, sorry. What I want to say is you want to keep in mind your photos, the size of your photos. So you may have to, say if you're using a sketch, then you might need to up your photo mat. So this one's 3.5 by 3.5. This one I think was 5 by, let's put it down in the corner. Oh, that does not work. So it is 5.5 by 3 inches. And I'm going to use, I don't have any. Okay, I'm going to use some dimensionals on this one. And actually, where's my snips? We are going to do this, trim the edges to make bigger pieces. I don't seem to see a larger pack of dimensionals anywhere. And for scrapbook pages, I do like to use extra dimensionals just because it'll hold up a little better. And you don't have to take off all the backs of your dimensionals. Okay. That one. Ooh, what am I doing? I want to leave the one corner off. This one up here. I'll leave it off because I want to be able to put that other photo mat underneath here. So you want to do something like this. And then we're going to put some glue on the back of our 3.5. I think it's 3.5 by 3.5 inches. Whoops. Put the lid back on that glue. I probably should have put it down first. It's going to overhang just a little bit, like so. There we go. So our layout is partially done. Next up, we're going to do some embellishing. So that's why I grabbed these greens. We'll grab the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I know I had some. Oh, there it is. Some adhesive sheets. So I love these because you just put it down on the one side of your paper. And where'd my dies go? There they are. Oh yeah, and my little sandpipers. I can't forget about them. And you don't have to cut this straight. And if you get glue on your finger, you just rub it off. So to cut these, one, you make sure your paper is smaller than 3.5 by 3.5. Make sure you know which way the adhesive sheet is. And we can cut both of these at the same time, like so. And if they move a little, it's not that big of a deal because it's not like we're cutting or die cutting a stamped image. Okay. There's one. There's two. Now come out. There we go. Should have grabbed my take your pick tool with the little brush on it. That would have been helpful. All right, so I wanted to cut another one just in case, since I have this all out. Because you never know when I go to put it together how many of these little things I might need. All right. Put that over there. That over there. Clean that up later. Careful not to stab myself. Oops. There we go. Put that back. That's the downfall for doing little things like this. It can, oopsie. That's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to pull the back off of it. adding these little bits to your layout add so much to your project. Oops. But they do add some extra time, extra steps. All right, so let's pull the layout back in so we can finish making this pretty. So, oh yeah, I wanted to show you. This is what I think of New Brunswick, Cushugwack National Park. And Mom and I were there 2013, 2014, I don't know. But I just think of that sand dunes, and there were sandpipers there. So that's what I think of when I look at this suite. And I haven't scrapbooked that trip yet. So I think this is a great set for me to use to be able to scrapbook. So put that up there. So because this one is colored, they kind of pop a little bit more. And then we want to take some of these here. And because they already have glue on them, we don't have to worry too much about how we're going to adhere them, because they're already sticky. And then I don't have to worry about getting glue everywhere. Oops. Put that up there. I think I'll just do the two little guys up there. And then, come on. There we go. So if you've enjoyed this layout, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that way when I create more using this suite, you can see what I'm creating using the By the Bay suite. And the list of products will be listed below. Oh yeah, pearls. So if you're looking for anything in Canada, the list is below. It'll take you to my online store where you can purchase and get these pearls because they're just so pretty. So we're going to add a couple. Even though I didn't see any pearls on my trip, they're still really, really pretty. Put one there. Put one there. And maybe a large one up here. They look like little rocks, maybe. Maybe you can even color them in with some Stampin' Blends. And if you're wanting to get that exclusive Boho Mini machine, the link below will take you to my blog, and that'll have all the details that you need about the starter kit and about the special. And it's on until the end of February 2023. So I hope you've enjoyed this scrapbook layout. I have to get some pictures printed to put on there, and so I can make more layouts too using this suite. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see you next time.